I am telling the story through the video clips. The point where I am starting at is how it all ends. Please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you.
A cheating husband dies and enters heaven. St. Peter looks at him and says, "You cheated on your wife 28 times. Don't worry, you'll be accepted in, but you won't receive a brand new car like those who were more faithful in their marriage." Confused, the man asks, "I get a car though, right?" St. Peter responds, "Of course. In paradise, everyone needs a car to get about. The only thing is that you'll get an old Ford Pinto." Meanwhile, the man sees some old buddies receiving their cars. During a difficult period in his marriage, the first man had one small affair and received a lovely Toyota Camry. A brand new Lamborghini is given to the second friend for never even thinking about another woman other than his wife. Suddenly, inside heaven, the man with the Ford Pinto starts crying. Concerned, his two friends check on him to ask him why he's so sad. He turns and points to his wife, who is riding around on a bike.
So what did you say?
I said women don't like dudes who got their own, who don't need them. They rather deal with men who are not that intellectually aggressive, who gonna let them say what they want and do what they want. They rather deal with a man like, not saying you like that, but most women out here don't want to deal with a man who gonna say, "Baby, nah, don't wear that. Nah, baby, don't talk like that." They don't really want to deal with that. They rather deal with a dude who let them say and do whatever they want to do. And they think if a man be a man, he's toxic.
So my question was, do you fuck with a real woman?
Let me answer that question.
And the reason why I asked
I'm
is because if you fuck with a real woman, she's going to agree with you. Hey, maybe I shouldn't step outside wearing this,
I respect that, baby.
nasty ass shit.
Let me answer that. This is the problem. The real woman is standing too close to the hose, so we don't know the difference until we start talking to y'all. No, listen. I met a lot of women. It don't mean...
Women do not hate nice men. That's just not true. But what we do dislike is men who lack masculinity. Now, a lot of nice guys tend to be men who also lack other masculine traits that women find attractive. And what they do is they blame their nice nature as to why they have no success with women. When you take a man who still has masculine traits and is nice, he ends up having hyper success with women. But when you take a man who's nice by default, because he can't exercise his masculinity, he can't say no, he can't set boundaries, he can't exert his dominance, of course women are not going to find that attractive. The difference between being nice and being a good guy is the nice guy desexualizes himself, and how he desexualizes himself is by foregoing what he truly wants for the sake of peace and harmony.
When you tell women the unflattering truths about what it takes to get a man and keep him, most importantly, not just get him, but keep him, which most modern day women suck at, they get mad. A lot of women can't handle the truth. If I tell them something along the lines of, be respectful, don't talk too much, don't be annoying, no one really cares about your opinion like that, cook him food, when his friends are around, make him look good, serve everyone a drink. When I say these things, right, don't be promiscuous, respect yourself, dress modestly, don't go out to the club with your friends, most modern day women are going to look at me and say, what is this, 1951? But then they'll turn around and they'll expect you, if someone intrudes into the house, to protect her. If someone steals a bag, they expect you to chase that guy down and beat him up. They expect you to be the breadwinner and pay most of the bills. They want you to be a traditional man, which is cool. I agree. Men should be traditional, but they don't want to be a traditional woman. That's my issue. So when I tell women, you want a traditional man that's going to be chivalrous and treat you well, you need to be a traditional woman.
Set my alarm for 11 p.m., wake up, and then hope that one of my rotation/roster boys hits me up to... Long story short, the rotation fizzled out at the end of 2020. Sweetie, how times have changed. Back in 2020, when I started TikTok, I was in my late 20s. I was dating obsessed, boy crazy, on the apps all day, every day, loving my life, not wanting to settle down. But now I'm 31, I'm healing, I'm celibate, been on Hinge in almost a year, haven't been on a date in almost a year, haven't even physically touched a guy at all. No hugging, no kissing, like nothing in almost a year. I had one prospect. It was a guy that I had been on a date with a couple years ago. He actually bought me a plane ticket to go visit him in his city, and I was so excited, thinking that it could be like a potential romantic thing. And then he hits me up like 3 days before, and he's like, I just want to make sure like we're on the same page. I'm not looking for a relationship.
Nope.
My old self would have still gone on the trip and like used him for his money and just been like, screw it. But my new self didn't go. I changed my dating boundaries and mindset. Well, the biggest reason is because I want to get married now. I used to want to just date casually and keep a rotation, roster, whatever. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't believe I'm going to find my husband on Hinge. You might find your person on Hinge, no shame to you. I'm not going to find my husband on there. Nope. So I needed to get out of that environment so I could get closer to meeting someone in real life. And then the other reason is, there's a quote, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Let me be real with you. The apps are never going to change. They're not going to magically get better. This is as good as they're going to get, and it's getting worse. I had to be the one to make a change.
And it's why is it the first thing that'll be said is, I don't need you, but you're still looking for a man who's a provider. That's so oxymoronic to me. Don't tell me you're looking for security, for a provision, for a man with wisdom and vision, but then at the same time, I don't need you, because you have provided that for yourself. Truth be told, you couldn't provide all 4 of the things I just mentioned by yourself. So now you're using what you don't need as a weapon, and it's not a tool. Instead of, when I can't control the thermostat, help me. Help me, because I'm not perfect. Like you said, I want to go back to your point. It's hard being a man. There's a lot of pressure on being a man. We got to be poised. We got to always be thinking long term, all while you getting on my nerves. And God forbid I tell you you're getting on my nerves.
We gotta make sure we gotta make sure you feel pleased.
And appreciated.
We gotta make sure you pleased in the bedroom as well. That's pressure.
That's pressure.
That's a lot.
Because at a moment's notice, I believe you said fashion versatility, relational versatility. I think there's a versatility in a woman's mind that can be created because of not the sense of empowerment, because I think every woman should be empowered, but it's almost that sense of entitlement. And if you don't do it, somebody's desperate enough to do it for you. You know what I mean? And so how do you compete with somebody's desperation? How can my reality compete with the man that's desperate to do it in my space?
If you have to convince a sister, a woman, that you are a good option, that you're her best option, right? By jumping through hoops, by proving yourself, by buying her stuff, by telling her what she wants to hear, she's not the one for you. That's what I tell my sons. Why do I say that? Because she clearly does not see you as her best option, right? She thinks you're just one of many, or maybe you're okay, but maybe another better one is coming, right? Now, if you finally convince her to marry you, what is going to happen in that relationship? What's going to be the power dynamic in that relationship? You've basically signed up for a life of her on a pedestal and you working overtime to please her. And sisters unfortunately hate it when I talk about this, right? Because this is the model we've been presented by society. A man's job is to please you. A man's job is to make sure you are happy. A man's job is to cater to you, etc. And the reality is, certainly as far as the deen is concerned, it's actually opposite. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet ﷺ have taught us as women the importance of pleasing our husbands, of catering to our husbands, of looking after.
One of the major concerns that I see from women is that they say, I don't get enough help from around the house. They feel like they're doing a million things and he's only sitting there on the couch and doing nothing. In my own experience, today, for instance, I turned to my husband and I said, I'm doing the laundry, I'm reorganizing the kitchen, I'm always cooking and cleaning, you could at least help me with the dishes. And he turned to me and he said, I just got done cleaning out the entire garage. I just got done cutting the yard. I just filled your gas tank. Did you notice any of those things? As women, we focus on our world only. We don't see the other side. We don't see that he's taking care of things that we don't even need to think about that's making our life easier.
You guys have to remember, when you marry these women, if you are making $1 million a year, you are not making $1 million a year. You're only making $500,000 a year, because that other $500,000 is her money. So the judge is
when
like,
you marry her.
Exactly, right? Because it's half and half. So the judge is saying, listen, you're bringing home $1 million a year, but half of that is her money. So I am just making you pay for her attorney, but really I'm just allowing her access to her money that you are earning every day.
Do you hear that?
It's
you
deep.
stupid in love.